So we continue on Samech Hey, where we will go over again what we were saying. Rava Amti leKorbana leBar Sheshach. Rava brought a gift to a Gentile named Bar Sheshach, B'yom Edom, on their holiday. From Yadana Bey Deloy Poloch La'akum. And Rava said he knows that Bar Sheshach doesn't worship idols. Also Ashkechei Yosef ad Savari Bavarda. So he found Bar Sheshach, Rava found Bar Sheshach sitting in a bath up to his neck in rose water. The Kaim and Zoinus Arumas Kamei. And he was surrounded by naked harlots. Marle Islechu Kagavna Lama to say. So Bar Sheshach asked Rava, do you have anything like this pleasure in the heaven, in the world to come? Marle Didana Difat Fe Mahai. So Rava said, our reward we're going to get in heaven is going to be much greater than this. So like Tfei Mehai Mehava. So Bar Sheshach said, what could be better than this? What pleasure could be better than this that I'm experiencing now? Marle Asunika Laichu Aimsa Malchusa. Lo Tehave Alan Aimsa de Malchusa. So he said the answer is that even you're sitting here now experiencing physical pleasure, but your mind is not totally clear to enjoy it because you're afraid of the government. And in heaven, there's no fear of the government. So Bar Sheshach said to Rava, what fear do I have from the government? And he asked me also who is Taka de Malka. Marle kum de kave lach malka. So they were still sitting there, and a messenger came from the king, and he said, "Get up! The king is calling you." Kinafik va'azol marle eina devoy lemechse lechu bishusa tipka. So when Bar Sheshach went up and he left at the decree of the king, he told Rava, he says, the eye that wants to see any bad come upon you should be torn out. That God gives you everything you ask for, even you're talking something, just by a conversation, just you mention something by the side as an aside thought, and it became fulfilled. So Marle Rava Amen. So Rava said Amen. Paka Eine Devar Sheshach. So then when he said that, Bar Sheshach's eye moved out of its place, like he just said. It's brought here that the Krachin Rav, Shmuel Aaron Ravin, or the Sefer Einei Shmuel, he says, why was Bar Sheshach punished that his eye should fall out like this? And the idea is that he was asking about this materialistic lust that he was experiencing, if there's anything like this in heaven. And he said that the Torah says you should not go after your eyes. Gemara and Bracha says it means to stay away from sexual immorality. So this damages the eye. So that's what it means that his eye fell out. So Umar of Papi, boy le memra le me high crow, benois mlachem biarkusecha nitzvah shegel minecha bekesem oifir. So Rav Papi said he should have told him this is what it says in the scripture. In Psalm 45:10 it says the princesses are cherishing you. They're standing and serving you. And there's a woman who's standing there waiting to be available sexually, and with the gold of Ophir, which is the finest gold. This is talking about the day when Solomon married the daughter of the king of Tyre. But the rabbis explain that this is also talking about the reward of the Talmidei Chachamim in the days of Mashiach. Malbim discusses this. This could mean... so there's many different explanations of this. Chassam Sofer explains that this scripture is not talking about actual physical enjoyments, but rather the Torah and wisdom, other wisdoms, the comparison of Torah to other wisdoms. Other wisdoms could be considered to be like secondary, like a concubine in comparison to Torah. And that's what it means, that the daughters of the kings, the princesses, means all the wisdoms, they are for your honor, meaning that all other wisdoms honor the wisdom of Torah. And if you study any other wisdoms, then the queen is standing next to you. The shegel, the woman who's ready for you, means like the queen, standing at your right hand with the kesem of Ophir. Kesem can stand for Kahuna, Torah, Malchus, priesthood, Torah, and kingdom, which are the three crowns, the golden crown. Amar of Nachman bar Yitzchak, Abayla, L'meimer, L'meihay, L'hachayin, L'raso, L'kim, Z'lascha, Yas, L'machakalai. So Nachman bar Yitzchak said, you should have told him what it says in Isaiah 64 verse 3, that no eye has seen except for God alone that which is done for those who wait for him. We won't see anything like this. So the Mishnah says, we go back to our Mishnah, where he says that even though if he would have told him to carry the barrel of wine, he'd be benefiting from the barrel of wine, that would be an issue. However, if he's hiring to do something else, then he can also carry the wine. Even though he's not saying that it's that he's going to pay you later, or whatever. Meaning, if he said specifically to do this, because like the Brisa says, if someone hired a worker to work for him until the evening, and as it came in the evening, he said, "Can you carry this wine, yain nezek, from one place to another?" His pay is permitted. That's only because he said at the time of the evening. I wish I had the art scroll. I lost it. I don't know where it is. Somewhere in the car, I hope. But all they know. Amar Abaya ki tanan nami masnisin damar l'tusei erev tanan. What is this? L'tusei erev. It's like meaning like after he finished all of his work, he asked him to do. Oh, that's what it means. Meaning just he finished all his work and he asked him to do one more job. So if after he finished all his work, he asked him to do one more job, that's what it means, that he could still do it because of all the other work he did. But does that mean that only after he finished all his work he could do it, but not in the middle of the work? So Abaye said no. You have to push it. The Mishnah is saying that when the Mishnah is saying here is that you're allowed to do is after you finish all the work, just before you finish working. Rav Amalei Kasha. Rav says it's not a question. Had Amalei Haveli Mea Chavius Mea Prutes. What if he told him, when you carry 100 barrels for 100 coins? Had Amalei Haveli Chavius Bepruta. But in the other case, he said, and when you bring me a barrel for a coin, so it didn't get connected to the other things. So therefore, if he's being paid only for the Ayin Nesach is a problem, but otherwise not. Vasanya, we have a braise. Getting very tired now. Seichers a pearl v'amlei haveli mei chavius v'mei prutas. Braisa says if you hire a worker and you tell him to carry 100 barrels for 100 coins. He finds there's a barrel of non-kosher wine among them, then he's not allowed to take the money. Chavis bepruta v'nim says chavis. But if he says a barrel for a coin, it's not specifying a number, each barrel is a coin, he finds there's Yain Nesach among them, then he's allowed to take the money. Someone hires, he rents a donkey to carry non-kosher wine, then it's the pay he's not allowed to have. Hatulam Ali. So what do we have? This Hainu Reisha. What about from the first clause of the Mishnah of the Brisa? Sefer Tzricha. I know we need it for the last clause. Schar Leisha v'La Pishaniach Akum Legina Les Charimutter. To be hired to sit and watch it, and even though the pagan is going to put, meaning he hired the donkey to sit upon it, even though the pagan has a flask of Yain Nesach with him, then he's allowed to take the money. He's hiring the donkey to ride on, but he's also carrying Yain Nesach. So remember the login. That's what the Mishnah says. The login lav dino hu loisvei. The login lav dino hu loisvei. Then it's not for that reason that it's being carried vermini. So he's arguing a seicher sechamor seicher maniach ala ksusay. Someone hires a donkey and he's putting his cloak on it. Leginasei v'nois avalaisa derech. And he would it be to say that he's not allowed to put this flask on? And then you say no. If someone hires a donkey, the one who's hiring it, he can put his cloak on it, and his flask, and whatever food he needs for that day. From there on, the one who's guiding the donkey can prevent it. So too, the one who's carrying who's guiding the donkey can put on it barley and straw and food for that day. But from that point on, the one who's renting the donkey cannot. No, we finished the pancakes. So Baya says, so this flask, is it a law that you could put it to sit? What do you want? I don't understand what you're saying. So he's sitting and what he's not bringing. Who said that he's paying to carry the flask? What are we talking about? If you find someone else that you could buy, then the one who's who's guiding the donkey could also stop it. There's not where to buy. So then the one who's renting the donkey also can't stop. Rav Papa says, no, we don't have to see. That you can find food every night, so then you'll have to, when you go and stay in the hotel for the night, you have food there, so you'll have to schlep food. Because someone who's guiding a donkey, usually he stops and goes and buys food. But the one who's renting the donkey, he usually doesn't do such a thing to go bother himself to go and buy food. So, Avodah Rav Achaber Rav Ika Havashavich Lehu Chamer La'akum, and V'azul Ma'aver Lehu Ma'aver V'yahu Gulfei Ba'agra. It's interesting, we have this word Chamer, it means wine, it could also mean donkey, and you have to know when is it a donkey, when is it wine. Here it's wine. So the Rav Acha's father, who's the brother of Ika, now we're on Amud Beis, he would sell wine to non-Jews. And they would put it into their flasks, they'd have leather flasks, and bring it over the river. And he would be paid for carrying it, and they would give him back the barrels they bought from us. So Amrulei Labaya, so they asked to buy Amrulahem Kikatarach, since he had he put the trouble to pour in the wine with Ter Katarach. He was doing it in the permissible way. But he wanted to keep it so that these flasks wouldn't burst. The Masni Badayu, because he made a deal with him, Inami. If that's the case, Maisi Sadki Badayu. So then they should bring other vessels with them, other cups and things and barrels. But they asked him, how could he carry it over the river? He's busy with something that's not kosher, and he's not allowed to have benefit. This is only because he told him to carry it for free before. So therefore, he's able to carry it for free. So that's the end of this daf. So thank you for watching. Oh, wait a second. Is this still... oh, that's still the same daf. So we have a new Mishnah. Yain nesech shnafal agabe yanav midicham vein mutaris. It's not the end of the daf. If non-kosher wine fell on grapes that are still connected to their vine, to their cluster, you can wash them with water and mutaris, and they're kosher, the grapes. But if the grapes were bursted, there's some holes in the grapes, then they're not kosher because they might have absorbed the wine. If the non-kosher wine fell on figs or on dates, and they taste like the wine, and it tastes better from the wine, then it's not kosher. There's a story of Baisus ben Zunin who was carrying dried figs in a ship. And a barrel of non-kosher wine burst and fell on the figs. And he asked the sages, and they said it's kosher. The general rule is if you enjoy the flavor that's imparted, that's not kosher. But if you don't enjoy it, you're not happy about it, it makes it disgusting, and it destroys the flavor, then it's kosher when it's that small amount that's only to give the flavor. Okay, go in Chaymet Shenafel Gabe Grisen, for example, even though vinegar made from non-kosher wine is not kosher, but if such vinegar fell on some cereal or something, the cereal is kosher. Maisa lister. Does the story contradict what we're saying? The Gemara says something missing here. This is what I have to say. If the taste, the flavor that's imparted is damaging, then it's kosher. Maybe Gregor's Besfina, and there was a story also with Baisis Ben Zunan, who was carrying dried figs in a ship, and the barrel of non-kosher wine burst and fell on the figs, and they asked the sages, and they said it's kosher. Who kridachiti nafal visa nesech? What about a threshing floor of wheat that a barrel of non-kosher wine fell on it? Sharia Rav Lezavune la'akum. Rava said you're allowed to sell the wheat to non-Jews. Eisvei Rabba Levoy LaRava. So Rabba Bar Levoy asked Rava, we have a brayse of Begad Shavda by Kalayim Leisanam Ardas Lechamor Loisay Techrikan Lameis Mitzvah. If there's a garment, let's say a wool garment, and you don't know if a little bit of like one string of linen got mixed into it to make it shatnez, you're not allowed to have wool and linen garments, mixed fibers. You cannot make it as a saddle for a donkey. However, you can use this to be a shroud for a dead person. There's no one to bury him. My time alone. So why can't you just sell it to a non-Jew? Dilma also is Bunil Israel. Maybe he's going to go and sell it to a Jew. Hanami also is Bunil Israel. So too, maybe the Gentile will sell this wheat to a Jew. So how is he allowed to sell the wheat? So then he says, no, you can take the wheat and make flour out of it and bake bread and sell that to the non-Jew, as long as there are no Jews around. But our Mishnah says that if non-kosher wine fell on grapes, you just wash them off and they're kosher. But if the grapes were split, they're not kosher. And it seems to indicate that if they're broken, then they're prohibited, but if they're not broken, they're not prohibited. Amar of Papa, so Papa said, Shani Chiti, but wheat is different because it has, meaning grapes are smooth and they're not really absorbent. There's nooks and crannies in wheat. It tends to be absorbent. That's why it's considered like the same, like the broken grapes. So Chamertika Banve L'Divrei Kolmanais in Talmud. All right, thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment all the best. That was 65, right?